Good morning. Today I want to explain Daniel chapter 12. The angel said to Daniel in verse 4 that at the time of the end it would be understood. Look at what it says. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. So we're told by the one who stands above the water that a time will come in the future when these words will be understood, and this is now. So we're going to go through it. It really starts in chapter 11, and I wanted to point this out first. Right at the very end, it speaks about a time when the king of the south will attack the king of the north. And it says, at the time of the end. In verse 44 and 45, it says, but news from the east and the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go out with great fury to destroy and annihilate many. And he will plant his tents of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he will come all the way to his end, and there'll be no helper. So I want you to notice that a time would come when this one would come out with great fury to destroy and to annihilate. Who is he annihilating? Well, it says he places his tent. That is something that used to be used when they were going to war. They'd have a tent, a command tent, between the sea, which says seas here, and the glorious holy mountain. So, with the glorious holy mountains in front, behind we have the Mediterranean Sea. So, we are seeing now warships in the Mediterranean Sea right up to the holy mountains. So it's time to understand what's happening. If we move forward, it gives a description. I, Daniel, looked there, and two others stood, one on this bank river and the other on that river bank. And one said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the water of the river, how long shall it be to the fulfillment of these wonders? So, it's in the future. And this is what is said. And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever, it shall be for a time, times, and half a time. And when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished. This account is in Revelation chapter 11, or 10 and 11. It's the same account. But on that statement in verse 7, this is what Daniel said. Although I heard, I did not understand. Then I said, my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? So from the statement, it seems that he understood the first part, the times, and half a time, which is 1,260 days. He understood that. But what he didn't understand is the end part. when it says, and then the power of the holy people will be completely shattered. All these things shall be finished. Can you imagine hearing that? And that would have really sparked interest, and it did with Daniel, and he wanted to understand what this shattering was. So he's honest and said, I didn't understand. It's time for all of us to feel the same way as Daniel did. It is time that we understood. So this is what the angel said. Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Now notice that statement, because Jesus said, of that day and hour no one knows, neither the Son nor the angels, but only the Father. And he will release this information at the right time. And in the time of the end, many shall be purified, made white and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So who's wise and who is wicked? Well, this is what the angel went on to say to the response Daniel gave in verse 8. Although I heard, I didn't understand. What's the end part to these things? So the angel said, and from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, which we know is 1260 days, or times and a half a time, because the angel has just told us, he said, this is the end bit, and the abomination of desolation that shatters God's people, there shall be 1290 days. So, from the end of the 1000, or let's call it times and half a time, there will be an extra 30 days, and we see this abomination of desolation come up to shatter God's people in the great tribulation. Then the angel goes on to finish it off. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1335 days. So the whole prophecy is only 1335 days long. And then the angel goes on to say the end bit. But you, this is Daniel, go your way till the end, that's the end of his life, for you shall rest in death, and will arise to your inheritance at the end of the days. The end of the days is the end of the 1335 days they've just been discussing. It's talking about his resurrection here, that he will arise. And that is in verse 2. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and Daniel will be one of them. And that was in answer to Daniel's question. Although I heard, I did not understand. Then I said, my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? So the angel answered that question. There's going to be a great tribulation for 45 days. 30 and 45 bring us to the 1335. Then the resurrection and rapture take place. Thank you.